And I thought Jonathan's offensive rebound was kind of the play of the night for me, just sealing the game with that extra possession that we scored on. I think he's really matured. He's had a great camp. We've had some really good conversations. I think he has a better understanding of
5 for 5, 3 threes, 13 points, 1 quarter. This isn't the Jonathan Kuminga we've seen before. This is something different, something terrifying for the rest of the league.
What type of player do you want to be?
Someone that's going to be impactful, contributing to success. I'm going to my 5th year. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. Just growth-wise, I feel like that's where I need to be. I need to mark my name as somebody who helped this team win a championship, and I think that's what we all here for.
On Tuesday night against the Lakers, the Warriors didn't just win 119-109. They unveiled a completely transformed player. And if you're sleeping on what Jonathan Kuminga just showed us, you're about to get left behind. Because this is his year, and the monster is officially loose. Let's talk about what happened at Crypto.com Arena, because this wasn't just a good game. This was a statement. 17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. But those numbers don't tell the full story. Kuminga went 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 6 from three-point range, tying his career high. Those weren't garbage time threes or wide-open practice shots. Those were in rhythm, in the flow of the offense buckets that had J.J. Redick calling timeouts in a panic. This was Kuminga's first career game with at least 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 three-pointers. Let that sink in. In his 5th season, he just unlocked a level of his game we've literally never seen before. But here's what really matters and what should absolutely terrify the Western Conference. He did it while guarding Luka Doncic for 33 minutes. Yes, Luka dropped 43 points, but he needed 27 shots to get there. He went 2 of 10 from three-point range because Kuminga was in his jersey all night long, picking him up full court, keeping his arms by his sides to avoid cheap fouls, and making every single possession a battle. Steve Kerr called Kuminga's late offensive rebound, the one that sealed the game before Steph's dagger, the play of the game.
And I thought Jonathan's offensive rebound was kind of the play of the night for me, just sealing the game with that extra possession that we scored on.
And you know what? He's absolutely right. That's the play everyone's been waiting to see from Jonathan Kuminga. The superstar athleticism turned into winning basketball. Draymond Green said it best after the game.
His performance was great. That rebound is what everyone in the world has been waiting to see. You got that athleticism. You go make big plays like that. You got superstar potential. You go make big plays. Those are game-winning plays. What did we get? Two free throws out of that? Those are game-winning plays, and so, we all can ask for opportunity. When you ask for opportunity, you must deliver. I think he's been very vocal about his opportunity, and he delivered. And so, when you see a guy that's willing to put their neck on the line and be vocal, and then they deliver, you also must reward them. Because if they don't, you tear them down. That's just naturally what happens. If you're vocal and you don't deliver, you get torn down.
And deliver he did. But let's rewind to the moment where everything clicked. The moment where Kuminga went from good player to different. The third quarter. Warriors up by 1 at halftime. Lakers fighting. Luka doing Luka things. And then Jonathan Kuminga just took over. 13 points in 9 minutes. Perfect 5 of 5 shooting. 3 consecutive three-pointers that had Lakers fans sitting down in disbelief. Steve Kerr explained the game plan at halftime. Let's use Steph's movement and put pressure on the defense. But it was Kuminga who executed to perfection. Screening for Steph, slipping to the rim, split cuts, catch-and-shoot threes, backdoor layups using Curry's gravity. This wasn't the wild, out-of-control Kuminga we've seen in the past. This was organized destruction. This was a player who understood spacing, who understood timing, who understood winning basketball. The Warriors opened the third quarter with an 18-4 run. Kuminga scored or assisted on most of those points. They extended it to 23-9. The Lakers couldn't breathe, and Kuminga was the one choking them out. By the time the dust settled, the Warriors had outscored the Lakers 35-25 in that quarter. They had a 17-point lead, and the game was essentially over. That's what elite players do. They take quarters, they take games, they impose their will. And that's exactly what Jonathan Kuminga just did. Now, we need to talk about why this is happening, because Kuminga didn't just wake up one morning transformed. This is the Jimmy Butler effect.
Now he's taking Jonathan Kuminga under his wing, and there were moments last night, there were moments in preseason where Jimmy Butler would literally direct Jonathan Kuminga what to do, when to be aggressive, when to take advantage of. If a Luka Doncic is on you, go take advantage in this moment. And I spoke to Jonathan Kuminga last night as well, and he said, the game is slowing down for me now more than it ever has. And we saw with the passing, the rebounding for him, and his relationship with Jimmy Butler, that growing relationship, and he's really embracing playing with him and Draymond and Steph. We'll see how long this lasts.
All training camp, Butler has been working with Kuminga. One-on-one sessions, film study, conversations about the mental side of the game, teaching him what he learned from veterans like Luol Deng, Derrick Rose, and Kirk Heinrich when he was young. After Tuesday's game, Butler explained his mentorship.
In JK's game that was shown tonight, one of the things Steve said is, you've kind of taken him aside in camp and had some conversations. I'm just curious what you're seeing out of that dynamic and what you are trying to do to maybe grow his game.
I just want to help JK be great. I mean, he's got so much like just raw talent, and he's so aggressive. He's athletic. He's super smart, and I'm trying to teach him a little bit of what I see throughout the game. And we've been, kicking it, hanging out, watching film, and just working on our game together after practice, before practice, during practice. I know how great he wants to be and how great he can be. So it's now my job to help him fulfill that.
What did you see tonight out of that?
Making all the right plays, shooting the ball whenever they're open, attacking, passing the ball, guarding first and foremost. He's got it. He's got that thing that everybody else has. What you need me to do, I'll do it if it's going to help us win.
But it goes deeper than that. Kuminga has been watching everything Butler does. How he draws fouls, how he controls pace, how he stays composed in pressure situations, how he makes winning plays instead of highlight plays. Kuminga called himself a sponge when discussing Butler's influence. In this league, he's one of the people that's actually been in my shoes.
I say I just being a sponge, going to him every single day, not just after practice, just anytime I interact with him, just trying to pick his brain up. And I feel like in this league, he's one of the people that actually been in my shoes throughout their career, like know what I've been going through or what I've been through. And I would say just a similarity of the game and just his knowledge of the game, just as much as he knows, and that's why he's Jimmy. And just trying to pick his brain as much as I can.
Think about what that means. Butler came into the league as a raw, athletic player who needed development. He turned himself into a 6-time All-Star, an NBA Finals MVP finalist, and one of the most clutch performers in basketball. And now he's passing that blueprint directly to Kuminga. This isn't just about basketball skills, it's about mentality. It's about understanding what it takes to be great. And Kuminga is absorbing every lesson. Steve Kerr sees it too.
I think he's really, really matured. He's had a great camp. We've had some really good conversations. I think he has a better understanding of what we need. You saw in the first half, he took a couple tough mid-range fadeaways that we don't want. He immediately held up his hand. He realized, that was not the shot. He had, a couple turnovers where he drove into traffic. And second half starts, and the whole talk at halftime was, let's use Steph Curry, let's use his movement and put pressure on the defense, and because we didn't do that in the first half.
23 years old, with a Hall of Fame caliber mentor, in a system designed to maximize him, with a chip on his shoulder from a contentious contract negotiation. All the pieces are in place for something special. Let's address the elephant in the room. The reason why Tuesday night was so significant wasn't just about what Kuminga did, it was about what he didn't do. He didn't disappear on the glass. 9 rebounds, team high, including that clutch offensive board that sealed the game. That might not sound impressive until you understand Kuminga's rebounding demons. Remember Game 4 of last year's semifinals against Minnesota? Kuminga played 29 minutes, scored 23 points, and grabbed 0 rebounds. Not one. In almost 30 minutes of playoff basketball. The next game, the season-ending loss, he had 3 rebounds in 32 minutes. It was a pattern that drove Kerr and the coaching staff absolutely insane. Last season, Kuminga had 15 games where he played at least 20 minutes and finished with fewer than 5 rebounds. For a player with his athleticism, that's unacceptable. That's the difference between potential and production, between good and great. Draymond called him out directly last May. I think that's an area where he can grow. We all have those areas, and I think he'll look at that and say, I need to be a better rebounder. With where he wants to go and the player he wants to be, he has to be a better rebounder with his athleticism. But Tuesday was different. Kuminga was attacking the glass, boxing out, using his elite athleticism for the dirty work, not just the highlight dunks. That offensive rebound over DeAndre Ayton in the final minute? That's growth. That's maturity. That's a player who understands what winning requires. And that's the scariest part for the rest of the league. Now let's talk about the summer from hell, because that contract negotiation, it fueled this fire. Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors spent the entire offseason locked in a stalemate. Kuminga wanted a player option. He wanted more guaranteed years. He wanted to be paid like a rising star. The Warriors, they offered a 2-year, $48.5 million deal with a team option. Translation? We're not sure about you yet. After months of back and forth, Kuminga finally signed on September 30th, just in time for training camp. The deal makes him tradable on January 15th. Multiple reports suggest both sides expect he'll be moved before the deadline. Think about playing basketball with that hanging over your head. Knowing your team doesn't fully believe in you. Knowing you could be shipped out mid-season. Knowing every mistake gets magnified. Every game could be your last in a Warriors uniform. Most players would crumble under that pressure. Most players would sulk, demand a trade, or phone it in until they get moved. Not Jonathan Kuminga. He turned it into fuel. He used the disrespect as motivation. He came into this season with something to prove, not just to the Warriors, but to the entire league. In an interview before the season, Kuminga was crystal clear about his goals. Things take time, but I feel like I'm at the point where that has to be my priority, to just be one of the guys a team relies on. Aiming to be an all-star, multiple times, aiming to be great. Wherever I'm going to be at, it don't matter if it's the Warriors or if it's anywhere else, it's something I want. That's not just confidence, that's hunger. And hungry players are dangerous. The Warriors created a monster by doubting him, and now that monster is coming for everyone. So why now? Why is this the year Jonathan Kuminga finally puts it all together? Let me break it down for you. First, the mentorship. Having Jimmy Butler, a guy who lived Kuminga's exact journey, teaching him daily is invaluable. Butler knows what it takes to turn raw talent into all-star production, and Kuminga is obsessed with learning. Second, the motivation. That contract situation lit a fire. Kuminga knows he's playing for his future, whether that's in Golden State or his next destination. Every game is a showcase. Every performance matters. Third, the role clarity. Steve Kerr needs Kuminga to succeed. With the Warriors' championship window closing, they can't afford to have their most athletic player on the bench. Kerr has to play him, showcase him, and maximize him. That means more minutes, more touches, more opportunities. Fourth, the skill development. That three-point shot is real now. 4 of 6 against the Lakers wasn't a fluke. It was the result of countless hours in the gym. When Kuminga can space the floor and attack the rim, he becomes virtually unguardable. Fifth, the maturity. He's 23 now. He's been through playoff failures. He's dealt with benchings. He's experienced the contract drama. All of that shapes you, hardens you, makes you better.
And finally, the opportunity. LeBron is out. Teams are still figuring out their rotations. The Western Conference is wide open. If there was ever a time for Kuminga to make his leap, it's right now. Everything is aligned. The pieces are in place. The stage is set. This is Jonathan Kuminga's year to become a star. So what can we expect moving forward? If Kuminga stays healthy and maintains this level of play, he's averaging 18 to 20 points, 7 to 8 rebounds, and 4 to 5 assists this season. Those are borderline all-star numbers. More importantly, he's playing winning basketball, the kind that makes championship runs possible. The three-point shooting is real, the rebounding is improving, the defense is already elite, the playmaking is developing. Add Jimmy Butler's mentorship and the chip on his shoulder from that contract situation, you've got a recipe for a breakout. Will the Warriors trade him? Maybe. Sacramento and Phoenix were both heavily interested this summer. But here's the thing, if Kuminga plays like this, his trade value skyrockets. The Warriors either keep him as a cornerstone piece or they get a king's ransom in return. Either way, Kuminga wins. Either way, the Warriors win. And either way, the rest of the league needs to be terrified. Here's what really excites me about Jonathan Kuminga's development. He represents the bridge between Warriors dynasties. Steph Curry is 37, Draymond Green is 35, Jimmy Butler is 36. The old guard isn't going to last forever. The Warriors need young stars to carry the torch. They need someone who can learn from legends while also becoming one himself. Kuminga is that guy. He's got the physical tools that can't be taught, the athleticism, the size, the explosiveness. Now he's developing the mental side, the basketball IQ, the decision-making, the poise. Combine those things, that's a superstar. Think about his trajectory. He came into the league as a raw project from the G League Ignite. He helped the Warriors win a championship as a rookie. He's dealt with inconsistency, benchings, and trade rumors. And now he's showing the complete package. This is what development looks like. This is what patience and the right mentorship can produce. And the scary part? He's still just scratching the surface. He's 23 years old. Players typically don't hit their prime until 26 to 28. Imagine Kuminga in 3 years with all of Butler's tricks, with consistent three-point shooting, with elite rebounding instincts. That's a legitimate MVP candidate. That's a franchise cornerstone. That's exactly what the Warriors drafted him to become. Tuesday night against the Lakers was just a preview, a glimpse of what's possible, a warning shot to the league. The monster is awake and he's hungry. If you want to stay ahead of every major NBA storyline, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dive analysis. Drop a comment below. Do you think Kuminga makes the All-Star team this year? Is he getting traded? Or is he the key to another Warriors championship run? Let's discuss in the comments.